Good morning, folks. It's Jerry with Creekside Nursery here in Dallas, North Carolina. It's a wonderful, wonderful fall morning. Jackson and I are getting ready to get started on this project here where we've been talking about. You've seen some of this. I think Jenny has showed it in a couple of videos where we started the drainage project. And I'll show you some updates on that here in just a little bit. You'll be impressed with the area where all the water is collecting, and we're shoveling all that water from up above where the camera is all the way down this area all the way out. So essentially what we're trying to do is take this existing shrub lot area here, and it's not going to be level. We're going to make it more level, but essentially we know there's a lot of dirt here that we can use over here on this side to gain our land back and our space to be able to grow all those beautiful shrubs and annuals and perennials that you see online. So this is the future growth of e-commerce and retail garden center. Like I mentioned before, you know, we're in North Carolina. Once we get to March, we can do a lot of growing outside, and compared to other nurseries and garden centers that are up north that are doing this. So we can really reach a lot of our areas and areas south of us early and do a really good job on that. But you know, mainly it's just to be able to, I can grow without putting up another $250,000 structure, you know, and I have the land here to just kind of get back. It's here, and we used that soil that was there to build up the pad for the greenhouse behind the camera. So Jackson's pulling up staples that hold these irrigation lines. We went and double checked to make sure our spacing on that, because we are going to have to take them up. They're basically, a line goes all the way down, the next line over is like 15 feet apart. So our goal here today is to start moving. I hope you like seeing machines move. We're going to do a lot of that. You'll see a lot of dirt moved. We'll stop and kind of talk about how we're using, or why we're using the excavator for what we're using it for, and what we're using the new skid steer loader. So we did upgrade from the 595 Bobcat to the T76. It was just that time to do that. Much more lifting capacity, pushing power. It's going to really come in great today. This week, I think, started today on the online store. We have a tiered sale going. So it's really working on making you go into the 4, 8, and 12 count box. Yes, sir. What's he got? Jackson's off. He's looked like he was in a hurry to do something. Anyway, so yeah, so we got a tiered sale going on the shrubs inside the greenhouse over here. So the way it's kind of set up, hopefully, when you're purchasing the shrub, you've got a 4, 8, 12, 16 count boxes, right? So those amounts hopefully will get you in those boxes. But anyway, it's a great sale. We have a lot of inventory in there. We got a little bit behind on getting things out there after the hurricane. We had some logistical issues. We had some really big orders that took us a while to get caught up with all that, but we're really in good shape now, getting the inventory really tight, as we've talked about before. So anyway, we're going to get started on that. I'll grab the GoPro, and then we'll just kind of go through and show you what we've done so far, what we got going. I got the transit back here in the back, so I'm ready to start using that just to kind of get an idea of some elevation. You can see, back here on, my right facing this way, we've already started to move some soil out of there. So we know that whole hill back there is coming out regardless. It's just how far back, kind of like where the transit is, are we going to push soil back. So let me grab that camera and we'll get started. Boys back. All right, guys, we're okay, this is where we were. Right over here is the greenhouse behind me, And back over this way is where we were trying to capture the water. You can probably see that excavator up this way. So this whole zone back through this way is where all the water was going. It's what we wanted it to do when we made the channel, and to divert, because it used to travel from up behind me right through that propane tank, right over past where, I don't know if you can see the Kubota or not, but all the water that came from behind me went in this direction until we raised that up. So then we raised it up, we decided that we wanted it to go this way, go around all our lots, you know, the shrub lot, around Jenny's dad's orchard and all that stuff. But there's a lot of land right there to be used. And in business, you're always thinking ahead. Where are you going to be able to get the next space to be able to expand, be able to grow more plants, that kind of thing. So we came over here and dug out this hole. This is where, see my shadow, this is bright this morning. We dug out this hole, capturing the water coming off my neighbor's property. Okay, so it naturally works its way through the woods and through here, and we put a basin down in the bottom. You can't see it now, I have it covered up with a riprap, and then just kind of created a hole to be able to capture the water if it were to get backed up and the pipe wasn't big enough to get it up. It's got somewhere to go. We will have to keep this cleaned out in here, so that way the water is always free flowing through. But this will stop, you know, major debris were to get into your pipe and get it stopped up. Or, you know, there is a grate on the basin, but I want to just go ahead and put some rock around it, just protect it, but not too much, because sometimes we might need to be able to get in there, take the rock off the basin, get into the catch basin, clean it out or something like that. But you know, kind of created a little bit of a stop there for debris. And if we have to, I mean, there are natural stops up through the woods up there that are creating areas where the water is flowing through and it's stopping and slowing down, right? So if we had to, we could probably create some up through there. I don't know if I don't think my neighbor would mind too much, but anyway, but that's the first point of water collection, and I really hope that that will, you know, collect it as best as possible. The next one is, you know, right down here. Let me get you down here and I'll show you, is this little area where this pile of gravel is. So this whole area here is a collection point. So this will have wash stone basically coming from where the machines are parked right there, and we're going to bring that wash stone kind of like a road coming back up this way. But this section here, the pipe has drilled holes in it. We have it covered with fabric, and this way when the water comes to this low point, if it does, it can collect here, hang out until the pipe catches up, and then it will drain out, so we won't have water just sitting around everywhere. Even in the storm, I didn't make it up here during our tornadic storm, but even in the Hurricane Helene, the water just ran out of the woods at a nice pace. So I feel fairly confident that we're going to be able to collect that water and move it on out. It dumps out way down there in that lower section. But I just wanted to show you real quick. We've been working on our stock of shrubs, and this is a good amount in here that's ready to go out the door through our tiered sale, hopefully Monday and Tuesday. So that's going to run both Monday and Tuesday of this week. Some exciting, cool things in here. We have the Yuki cherry blossom. So that's a super nice plant. Its biggest show is in the spring with all of its flowers. It's a Deutzia, but right now, especially here in the south, you know, it looks just like a big green bush, right? But in the springtime, it has multicolored pink cherry blossoms all over it. But right next door to it is beyond pink Caryopteris. Now I love this flower because it has those little saucers all over it. It looks like little, what we might call unidentified flying objects, UFOs. You know, it's big time azalea season. So we've got the Perfecto Mundos all here in this section ready to go. There's orange, red, pink, pink carpet, double pink. There's a good number of all those. Abelias back in the back. Everybody loves some dark foliage, and for my friends that are looking for a crepe myrtle, this is center stage pink, and it's beautiful dark foliage on it with pink flowers. And right next door is center stage red, center stage coral, you know, double plate doozy. Jenny loves that, and in the very back there is candy corn. So you can see, I'm not going to go through all these, but we have a good number of shrubs restocked on the website, and the most ever popular right now, I've got a bunch of these at the retail garden center, is Paisley Pup. Look at those colors on that leaf structure, right? So I want to spend just a minute on some technicalities and customer service things, okay? So when you get your quart, and it is a quart, okay, is that you're going to get a quart, and it's coming from North Carolina. We're going to 82 on Saturday, and then we're dropping 20 degrees from 80 to 60, okay? So we're trimming back. You can see you're going to get it. It's not I've heard some customer service things that come in, you sent me a 6-inch plant. Well, you know, it was trimmed. We're trimming now, and we're trying to make that better for you, and that's why it's being trimmed, to make it tight. It comes trimmed. Like when this thing's at Spring Meadow, you ought to see the machine. You've seen it before in videos. This massive, looks like this massive hedge trimmer that would ride this entire bay, and they're constantly trimming back. The reason we do that is so that way when it does grow, coming out of fall, winter, into next spring, you're going to get all these new branches, new flowers, and you can tell if you just really look at these plants, you can see that their stems are thick. So that shows you the root system, the amount of time that's gone into growing these to make as perfect plant as we can in a quart. It's called a quick turn because it means when it comes out of it, this quick turn, whether it's going into a 3-gallon or 1 gallon or in the ground, it's going to turn quick for you once the growing season happens. Now, I'm standing here and I'm looking at, and you may think, if you were to get this, and Jerry, you sent me a hydrangea with a bunch of yellow leaves all over it. You know, you sent me a hydrangea with leaves with spots and dead flowers, which, you know, I can get that. You know, you get it out of the box, you're not accustomed to, you know, this time of year. That's a natural process that's starting to happen right now with the hydrangeas. So it's an excellent time to plant. It's an excellent time to get those things in the ground ASAP before next spring. So everybody gets so excited in the spring to plant, which that is and always will be the go time. But right now it is go time for all of these shrubs, every last one of them. There may be some circumstances where it doesn't work. You know, if you're in Colorado, you're done. I'm sorry. You know, you're probably not planting. You know, in some parts of New York or where it's really getting cold and freezing and that kind of thing, you might be, you know, if your ground freezes and it's frozen now and it stays frozen, then you're done planting. Our ground doesn't freeze, and most of our zones around us, it doesn't freeze. Or if it does, it doesn't freeze for very long, and you can get the shrubs in the ground. Okay, if not, get them in a 3-gallon, and then take care of them through the winter, and you'll have a large plant come spring to put in your garden. So anyway, we're going to get started on this project behind me. Once again, the shrub lot. so we can grow more of those shrubs and annuals and perennials at a high quality level, get them out in the natural light, you know, the natural sunlight, get them out from protected greenhouse cover, right? Which is, it's all good, and we have to have it to be able to do what we do. But if we can get your plants out here and get them growing, there's just a lot of them that will do very well out here, especially in the cold of March and April. And it will produce a high quality plant, so which is what we're after, which we care about 110%. So let's get on with this. I want to show you some machine work. Jackson and I are going to start ripping up some plastic. And like I said, we'll stop, we'll talk about excavator and the skid steer loader, track loader, you know, why we're doing what we're doing. So let's just get started and see what we can do. I started an infograde with the skid steer loader. Jackson's coming in behind me just to kind of help start scratch this up. So what we're going to do, he's working that soil, which will take less work off of my machine. Okay, now I'm going to come in and grab it, level it, and move it in behind me. So we start moving. We're taking out more right here than we are down this way. It's starting to slope back down. But this thing's tricky. It's coming from high back here and going down, which is fine. We can keep that grade, okay? But we're just trying to get some of that slope off. And the biggest thing is increasing what's over here on this side, so it's more flat ground. So he's loosening up. What makes it even crazy, tricky, is right back here starts the main water line underground. We're going to find that line, and we're going to try to find it, dig around it, all the way up, try not to tear it up, that way we don't have to turn the water on. So we're going to start down here first. We're not going to get all this done today. It just kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing with the equipment, how we're working the excavator over here. So you can see him, you know, he can just easily go at that. So just, you know, take a few minutes. Let's watch this, and you can just see the difference between the two machines. Okay guys, we've been working there pretty hard. To my right over here, you can see we've got a little bit of a mound left. That's kind of where our water line starts. We're going to be careful there before we start digging out. We're just going to continue to slick off this whole spot right here. You can see how we've pushed all this dirt forward right here, and we're starting to gain back some flat land in here, which was all sloped and all the water was just running this way. So it's tricky as we continue on. It's not going to be like all totally flat. It's going to be some tilt to it back towards the trees and back this way. But the main goal is that we're gaining spots back for growth. Man, I mean, by the time we're done with this section, I mean, it'll hold more plants than what the big greenhouse does. It's just going to be much larger. I mean, this whole spot here is probably as big as the retail greenhouse. You know, so yeah, we'll have to get some shovels out, unfortunately, and kind of find the water lines and kind of check on all that. But I'll try to get some drone up here in a little bit, just as we're slicking off, and get some better shots, and you can see the whole thing. And that'll be the next round that we're doing. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the T76. I got this time, I got the 4-in-1 bucket, combination bucket, some folks call it, and you can probably saw it a couple times where I can open up, it's like a clamshell, and easy for like grabbing that plastic in the beginning and hauling it off. Even in here, you can go back and you can kind of scrape and level off a little bit. It's just kind of playing around with it. It's just going to take some time to get done. But Jackson and I both enjoy moving some dirt, you know, and it smells good out here, doesn't it? Jackson's shaking his head. So anyway, we're just going to keep scratching at it a little bit and show you some more. But there's on up the hill here from where I'm standing and looking where that water line is, there's a lot of soil we can move, because you got to remember I'm taking out here, and this was already lower than what I was measuring from up here. So we got to take some out up there so it continues this flow back this way, but at the same time leveling back over this way. So let's get the drone up. Hopefully you can enjoy some of that, and then I'll catch you in a minute. All right, that's enough of that now. Alright guys, we're back on here. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a review of what's going on once again. We've moved quite a bit of soil, kind of where you can see the machines over here, and the Bobcat and my side-by-side over there. And I don't know if you can see really the depth there. You can see the slope going back up. Right there where the shovel is, I know there's an irrigation head valve, so I know the water line is near, so I'm being very careful right here. And then we'll start to work that ground down. I did find the pipe. It is just right over here on the other side of the shovel. Going in here somewhere. What happened here? Hold on a minute.
back, Megan. Okay, so here we go. Irrigate the timer wire in the pipe. So we know that kind of gives us an idea of where this is running down through here to the next section and then on. So hopefully we can avoid ripping that. Friday, so this video will go out Monday or so. Not sure which day, but I didn't want to tear up our water over the weekend, and I don't feel like going to the store to get 1¼ inch couplers and all that. But you can see that there, the slope starting to go back up here. So we're just going to start cutting back. It's higher up the hill, so that way everything. And I'm going to try to keep a little bit of a high spot closer to this plastic over here where it's sloping all back downhill this way behind me. It's all sloping downhill. So that way we're just taking some of the water that comes from here and shedding it into a different direction. So now all water is going back down the slope towards the trees and everything. There is a Fritz drain on the back side of that plastic that catches water from over there, but you know, we're going to try to move that. But I mean, I don't even know like how much this right here is new. We've added this pad today. Okay, so you go here and you imagine that happening all the way through there, from that side, bring that dirt all the way over to the high spot here, creating a new level pad. Gives us plenty of growing room out here, much more production. I could see eventually having some sort of shade structure over here protecting some of the plants just to kind of keep some of the sun off of them, and that, you know, always helps. You know, this is a full sun spot. The sun here comes up just over those trees beyond there in the morning, and it just works its way all the way around all day long. It's just right there right now. So sun out here all the time for the plants, that makes it a good situation for them. Down through here, this is where all the water was coming to from that direction, working its way through there, and we have, instead of it running and eroding all the time, it's going through the pipe all the way down, and this is its outlet for now. So that is the plan as of right now, until I decide to run that water in a different direction. But in review of everything, we're going to continue, you know, working our way past the machine towards production. Start leveling out. We're going to try not to go into this area that is already covered with plastic. I will put new plastic on it, or we're leaving it for right now, and we're just going to work this section and have that. And once we get it the way we want it, I can kind of tell just from this angle. It's so interesting when you switch spots. You know, we create a little bit of a hole right here, so I'll have plenty of dirt up that way to bring it back down again. So I do have, which is cool, machines. These machines, the excavator and the skid steer loader, do a really good job just getting the dirt out, moving it, and you come back with the land plane on the tractor, and it'll do a really good job of smoothing out and leveling off. We'll see. But that's the plan. We'll keep you posted over the next couple of weeks, see how this goes. Don't forget about today's tiered shrub special online, and makes all this possible out here. So we do appreciate you guys. Thank you for gardening with Creekside, and we will check in the next one. Bye.